up, peeps? Welcome to another episode of Pillow Talk, our final episode of Pillow Talk. Oh, thank you, Solomon! 11 months. Oh my word. That is absolutely crazy. That is crazy. Wow. That's a very long time, Solomon. Thank you for being around this long. We really appreciate it. So as you can see, I'm in the graphic word office. I am not at home today. I had to be in the area anyway, and let's be honest, streaming works better when it's not from my Mac that's more than a decade old. We'll just be honest. It works better in the office. So things are changing a little bit. We're heading into the fall. School started this week. Our full suite of programs launches next week. I'm going to put that graphic back up because I finished it this morning and I'm really proud of it. Wrong one. You put it in the wrong spot. So this is our fall lineup for our online streaming. I put this together because this is very similar to how a network will advertise their fall lineup. Right now, this is our streaming one. We will have a Discord one out by beginning of next week or middle of next week, we're hoping, at the very latest. So that's what you can look forward to come the fall. Come next week. It's going to be really, 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 really good. It's going to be fun. And as you can see, Tom now has his own logo. We feel it's been long enough. He deserves his own logo at this point. Especially since he's still sick and still struggling. We're very much praying for him. Poor kid. I was playing with him a little bit on Monday and he's struggling. So that's our plan for the fall. That'll start next week. It's gonna be good. I don't have a Ninja or Jedi anymore, you guys, and I'm one mission away from the campaign, and yes, it's still on Legendary because I can't figure out how to change it. Thank you, Ninja. So we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. Good news though, it's good news and it's bad news. On Monday I managed to get to level 100. I hope to do it on stream, but I opted to take the holiday off. I felt like I kind of deserved it. I was still gaming, I was still present in our VC, and it was really cool for some people to drop by and to get to chat with people as they were doing their own things. We were just having fun. I got to 100, guys. I got to 100. I'm very proud of myself. I've got about next Tuesday, the new rewards pass comes out. So then I'll have another 100 to grind to. But it only took about 3 hours to go up 20 levels. Only, no big deal. And I was really grinding on some of the achievements to make that happen, but no big deal. Yeah, this fall's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. So also I created something else. Okay, we don't want you looking at an empty office if we streamers have to run to the bathroom, run and get some water, if we have to step out for a second. So I'm very proud of this. Mike and I worked as a team on this. Here's what you'll see if we are not present, if we have to take a break for a moment. This is what you will see here, rather than staring at an empty office. It helps out everybody involved. Let's just be real. Let's just be real here. It helps out everybody. So. But looking at the empty office is fun. How else can we see the ghosts? Please don't scare me, Solomon. Please don't scare me. I was already talking about how excited I am that Nuggets is back so I can share the chaos. He can take over the chaos again. I don't want more chaos. I don't want more anxiety. I have enough. We are very excited for Nuggets to come back. We are very excited. Finally gets rid of some of the chaos for me. There's no punishment wheel for Pillow Talk, Solomon. The punishment wheel for Pillow Talk. See, it's not really gonna work. But I'll save it for Destiny. Thank you, Solomon. I am not singing the entirety of James 5. I am not singing the entirety of James 5, alright? I will sing running a match on Monday, but I will not sing James 5. I need to hydrate. I have this stream. I have guava. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not my favorite. It's not bad. My favorite is the mango. They were out. It's a little sad. This is actually, in case you didn't know, Solomon, this is a Mexican soda. And in Mexico, they use cane sugar and not artificial sugars. So technically, it's healthier. Technically. I'm running with the technically here. Now I need to stretch. Oh, that was a really nice crack. Oh, that was good. It was good. It was like right between the shoulder blades and the spine in like the best way. Best way. Technically, healthy food drinks are the best kind. That is true. I am working on being more mindful of what I'm eating, or I guess you could say taking in, whether it's eating or drinking. Because I want to eat healthier, I want to be healthier, but let's be real, healthy food's expensive. So I'm making do with what I can, and then we'll see what happens. Technically, I found out due to the myriad of health problems that I have, I qualify for an extra dietary bonus so that I can get food that works between allergies and other disorders. The list keeps growing, ladies and gentlemen. The list keeps growing. But hey, if I can get something out of it, I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it. I'm going to write down now before I forget. I need to sing while I'm doing a match. Maybe that's a solo match. I should change that instead of PvP to just be portal activity, because that's all it is at this point. Sing during portal. Can't believe you, Solomon. Okay, it's written down now. It's written down. It's written down. It's there. I will do it. Just have to make me suffer, even though I'm already suffering, because Ninja and Jedi aren't here. Alright. And if you see this, Mike and I are talking about a few things. Alright, we are talking about the most logistic way for us to have access to things and seeing how it works differently on computer versus on console, and if it's possible to do some of the things we want to do. Because apparently one of the games on my poll this week requires me to upgrade in order to play it, because my console's too old. Okay, bud. My console has the exact same setup and internals that an Xbox X has, but whatever. We'll just say it's not the same. So I'd have to cloud play, and I can't do that unless I upgrade. So we're looking at things and slightly hoping people pick some of the other ones instead of Squirrel with a Gun, as much as I'd love to play it. I do have plans, actually, to do some Ark on the computer. It's been a lot of years since I played Ark. I haven't played Ark since COVID. I was doing night shifts. I'll switch us out of the Bible mode, because I'm ranting and rambling already. I would take my computer for night shifts, and I would sit there, depending on the client I was with. I was either playing Ark on my PC, because if you own it on console, it's a play anywhere game, which is really nice. So I could play that on PC, or I had another client that I played Sims, because she liked to give input on what I was putting in the houses. But I play with dinosaurs when I was doing my all-nighters. And if you're playing on PC, it's a lot easier to use the cheat codes to summon the real fun stuff. So, Ark, is that the one with Hoff? Wait, sorry, dinosaurs. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And with how my body feels as of late, I myself may also be a dinosaur, because these bones are ancient and slightly useless. They do not create a proper skeleton. I have the x-rays to prove it. Unfortunately. So today, in Pillow Talk, we are going to be going through James 5. We are at the end. We are at the end here, people. And as you can see, I titled it "And Another Thing," because that is 1,000,000% what James is doing here, guys. He is at the end of his letter here, which, by the way, this wasn't split up into 5 separate letters. This was one single letter. And the people who put together the Bible went, we're going to split it up into verses and chapters and make it easier for people. Oh, look, Hoff is here, and he's aware that he's catching strays. I didn't say it, okay? Solomon said it. I compared myself to a dinosaur. I did tell Ark today that if I play the game Ark with the dinosaurs, perhaps we could curate a trip to the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto with the largest dinosaur exhibit in Canada. Perhaps. But that'd be a ways in the future. I'm just throwing out ideas here, people. I'm just throwing out ideas. That's all I do here. I ramble and have ideas. Sometimes the ideas work, like our new schedule posters. Other times, not as much. We try. All right. I'm going to put the new schedule up because Hoff didn't see it. It's important. I'm very proud of it. I worked very hard on this. Technically, my Canva account doesn't let me do the see-through backgrounds. So I got into Mike's Canva account and fixed it. We worked together. He said it was really trippy watching me move things in real time. And then this is our other one. Once again, if your streamer leaves the area, this will go up. So that way you are not staring at an empty chair or ghosts, as Solomon said. Okay, we're into James 5. So as you can see, ladies and gents, I've got a message version right here. Yes. Woo! I've got a message version right in front of me. I've also got this, and I can change it, and I might just do that. But I was using this and that to study, and there are notes. And there will be many references. I don't apologize at all, ladies and gentlemen. Our first section to look at is verses 1 through 6. All right, are you ready? We're going to do this. I'm trying to do this nugget style. It's not working for me. We'll see. Come now, you rich, weep and howl for the miseries that are coming upon you. Your riches have rotted, and your garments are moth-eaten. That's rather unfortunate. Your gold and silver have corroded, and their corrosion will be evidence against you and will eat your flesh like fire. That's slightly painful imagery. You have laid up treasure, not Trevor. You have laid up treasure in the last days, poor Trevor. I'm sorry. Behold, the wages of laborers who mowed your fields, which you kept back by fraud, are crying out against you. The cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord of hosts. You have lived on the earth in luxury and in self-indulgence. You have fattened your hearts in a day of slaughter. You have condemned and murdered the righteous person. He does not resist you. Yeah, thoughts and prayers for Trevor. I am wearing my glasses, you guys. All right? So, this first part here, this 1 through 6 that we are looking at in chapter 5, James is alerting us. Trouble is coming, all right? What James is saying in this first little bit here is equivalent to when you would see that random dude on the street corner who's, waving that sign going, the end of days are coming, the end is near, we're all gonna die. Like, that is what James is doing right now. And, I mean, my perspective, I kind of see, like, all right, cancel culture is extremely prevalent, all right? Everybody at this point should know what cancel culture is. And there are some people, and I mean, in certain instances myself, where when we see a rich person or, a specific person fail or fall or things are not going well for them, we are very quick to go, sucks to be you. Or as my dad would say, sucks to suck. And then he would go into a thing about how, vacuums suck and black holes suck. And he'd go into a thing. What I'm seeing here is James is saying, like, It's gonna happen. The world, like, this is gonna end. Everything that you have saved up, all of the people that you have cheated, all the people that you have slighted, they have been heard, and trouble's coming. It's like the same idea of, you know, you're that little kid, you've gotten into trouble, and they're like, I'm gonna tell your parents. Like, I don't know about you. I mean, I was born with anxiety. But if that threat was leveled at me, I would be shaking in my boots. And, like, James isn't doing this in a sucks to be you thing. James is saying this in a, like, there's still a little bit of time here, people. Like, get it right. Get it right. Get right with God, man. Don't know what accent that was, but it came out a little bit. When we were watching How to Train Your Dragon last Friday, I may or may not have picked up a Viking accent here and there. Students found it hilarious. I was not doing it intentionally. They would ask a question and out would come Viking. My brain is a weird place, guys. Okay? It's a weird place. So, okay. Verse 6 here, you have condemned and murdered the righteous person. My brain instantly did a callback to Cain and Abel. Cain wanted the benefits that Abel had. He was going to take it. And what befell Cain was not great, guys. Okay? James here is saying, this is gonna go bad for you guys, okay? This is gonna go really freaking bad. Do you not realize what you're doing? Do you not realize the path that you are going down here? This is what you have done, and this is what it's gonna mean. James doesn't hold back, guys. And I mean, I've talked about it before. Maybe it's because he's like, older brother will protect me. Or maybe it's just because he doesn't care. He doesn't care. I mean, just imagine, not only are you one of the disciples, or like in Jesus' inner circle, you're literally in his family. You've grown up with him. You've watched him. You've watched his character. You've watched his behavior. You've heard what he said. I'd be really interested in what Jesus' first word was, on a side note there. And did he call Joseph dad? But those are questions for another time. We could do a hypothetical question stream or something. That would get really off topic. But like, let's talk about the fact that the disciples, they knew the cost that would come from their actions, but they knew it was worth it. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? Like they teach you that in school. And what James is saying here is, you're doing a bad thing and you're not going to get any good from it. Like, the disciples, they weren't afraid to preach the gospel. They weren't afraid to go to the ends of the earth. They weren't afraid to end up in prison, end up nailed on an upside down cross. They were not afraid because they knew they were doing the right thing. Bad stuff may happen, yeah, but I mean, these guys knew the end of the story. They knew who they were repping in and out. Like, can you imagine being there for the Sermon on the Mount? Being there when he calmed the sea or Peter walked on water? Like, there would be no doubts. I mean, there was doubting Thomas, but that's its own thing. Like, I would have a lot less fear to share the gospel if I'd lived it more, you know? And that in of itself is a problem. Because we've got the story. We've got the history of what happened, okay? History clearly shows us there is a man who is named Jesus of Nazareth. History clearly shows us this man was crucified. All right? They get a little sketchy on whether or not he came back 3 days later, but that is its own thing. We're not getting into it now. I shouldn't have to have seen it to know it's true. All right? I shouldn't have to have seen it to be able to run with it, to be not afraid, okay? In the Bible, I remember in one of my courses, don't ask me which one, Jesus says, do not be afraid, or the phrase, do not be afraid, is in the Bible more than 365 times. That's more than once per day. So why do we deal with so much fear here? That's its own thing, slightly rambling now. But James is saying, you have done something bad. You're expecting good to come from it. It will not. He has seen it. He has seen it, and he will not forget this. Not if you're not asking for forgiveness. Not if you're going, haha, look at what I have done. I have cut off Medicaid to however many million people. I have cut medical funding to an entire province. Haha, look what I have done. I have given tax cuts to all these people while these other people are suffering. He sees it. And he's not going to let it go unnoticed. And James is trying to warn these people, this is what's coming. You keep doing bad stuff's going to happen. Like, James is saying, check yourself before he wrecks yourself. Solomon's like, eat the rich, tea biscuits. Honestly, eat the rich is what popped into my head when I read this first part. It is not a secret that the way our society is, it's built for the rich. It's built to benefit the rich. It's built to comfort the rich. It is not built for the average Pilo or average Solomon. And I would be lying if I told you that didn't break his heart. Because he loves us, even if this world doesn't see us. Solomon says, #no kings except Elvis. You're not wrong. What is that one musical or something? It's like Jesus Christ Superstar. I've never actually seen it, alright? I've never actually seen it. That should be the only king. That should be the only thing that matters at the end of the day. We were on Monday. I didn't stream, but I was in our VC and I was gaming, like I said, and we were having some really interesting conversations. Some people were talking about work, others were talking about, finances and like things being expensive, and like there were some recommendations about here's where you can find things a little bit cheaper, or have you tried this or whatever. I remember back when I was in first year, during that summer, I worked at a Christian summer camp, and one of the guys that was in my crew, at one point, he said, money is nothing more than paper that we have placed this much importance on. You are literally trading away hours of your life for worthless dead tree pieces. And it didn't hit me as hard then as it does now, when you're looking at the prices of things and the expense of things. But as much as this is a warning to the rich, this is a warning to those in power, this is also a warning to us. Because James said before in chapter 2, in chapter 3, in chapter 4, we need to have mercy, all right? I may not be happy at the current state of healthcare in my area. I may have some very specific feelings about it and some not so great feelings. But I'm still supposed to have mercy. I'm still supposed to have forgiveness. I'm still supposed to love. And that's the hard part. Because if we harden our hearts and we aren't going to love, we're no better than these rich. Alright? And the bad stuff's going to happen to us too. Whew. Okay. we're going to move on to our next segment, which is 7 through 12. As you can see, it is titled Patience and Suffering. And if you've ever truly been suffering, whether, financially, physically, or otherwise, it is very hard to be patient when everything sucks. It is very hard to be patient. I was talking to Mike today and talking about a few things that are coming up in my life. I have an appointment next week to see one of my surgeons to find out if it is time for my next surgery. And it's not a little one, so there's a lot of anxiety about it. And I said to Mike, I just wish that I had some say in my own life. Patience in suffering, even though it sucks. I mean, we know how the story ends. We know that he wins. We know that evil loses. But sometimes we lose sight of that. Sometimes it's hard to have the patience when things suck. Sometimes it's hard to go, okay, things will get better. I've been in therapy for a very, 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 very long time. And one of the big things is reframing your mindset. So you see something negative, and in the beginning, the challenge from my therapist was, okay, well, this might suck, but find one positive thing about it. So if I were to find one positive thing about meeting with my surgeon next week, it would be that I don't have to worry about transportation. That would just be one. There are many others. Like, I'm going to have a very specific driver that I love, that even though I won't be able to be in the office, I'm still going to get to watch Nugget stream because I'm going to have my phone and my headphones. That my surgeon was able to get me in so quickly. It's about reframing your mindset so that the suck doesn't suck as much. It's like putting salt on a leech. When I was little, we lived in the middle of nowhere, okay? It was an hour each way to get to a grocery store. That grocery store wasn't even Walmart, all right? I am not exaggerating whatsoever. It was at the very least an hour to the closest grocery store. My sister and I did swimming lessons in a lake, like an actual lake. My sister has this insane fear of swimming where there are fish. This is how she got it. But we would do swimming lessons. My sister and I are 2 years apart, so she would have hers and then I would have mine. The first year that we were there, my mom noticed that all of the other parents that were there for swimming lessons with their kids had salt. Whether it was in their bag, in their car, everyone had salt. And it wasn't until the first time my sister got a leech from swimming in the lake that my mom understood why. The leech sucks your blood. That's what it does. They used to be used in medical things. That's its own, tangent. Put some salt on it. That suck's gonna stop. It's gonna shrivel up and disappear. Well, that little positivity, that little reframing your mindset, that is the best way to salt that leech. Solomon says, salted leech. My sister and I last weekend, or some other time not that long ago, were talking to my mom because we were talking about swimming lessons, we were talking about leeches, and my sister was convinced that at some point I had to have had leeches because she got them a lot. So we checked with my mom. Nope, I never had one. To which she said was extremely unfair. But if we look at all my health issues and stuff, I'm not surprised they didn't want to suck my blood. I have joked before during mosquito season, if you see any mosquitoes that are kind of wobbly and look a little intoxicated, they probably bit me. Not that I am intoxicated, but some of your meds can have side effects, I'm sure Solomon understands in medications and what they do and their side effects. But that is my constant joke. If you see an intoxicated mosquito, he bit me. Also, they don't usually like the taste of my blood because my iron is low, so it just doesn't taste good to them. So they don't usually bite me. So I'm lucky that way. Patience in suffering. Be patient, therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient about it, until it receives the early and late rains. You also be patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is at hand. Do not grumble against one another, brothers, so that you may not be judged. Behold, the judge is standing at the door. As an example of suffering and patience, brothers, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. Behold, we consider those blessed who remained steadfast. You have heard the steadfastness of Job. You have seen the purpose of the Lord, how the Lord is compassionate and merciful. But above all, my brothers, do not swear either by heaven or earth or by another oath, but let your yes be yes and your no be no, so that you may not fall under condemnation. Just brothers. Wow, James, sisters do exist as well, you know. Thank you, Solomon. We do exist. We're not going to talk about the status of women in that day and age. We're not going to talk. No, we're not talking about it. We're not talking about it. So what James is trying to say here in like this section all through here, you know, what he's trying to say to us, here in my version, not to worry. Well, that's good. I'm glad they're included. What he's trying to say to us is that God is present, even if we can't see him. All right. Sometimes it's really hard to believe in something if you haven't seen it. But that's kind of what faith is. In all honesty, that's what faith is. Believing in what we can't see. He's telling us to be patient. He's telling us to wait. And I don't know about you, but it kind of feels like one of those car trips, like you would take when you were a kid, where it's like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? How about now? Are we there yet? That's kind of what it feels like. He's telling us, okay, just wait. Just wait. It's coming. Just wait. It's like waiting for dinner when you're starving, you know? He's always present, even in bathroom breaks. Solomon, that would be a question to ask Mike. Yeah, I'm going to pass that one on to Mike. Mike can answer that question. I will let him know when he gets back from his meeting that you have a question about if God is always present even in bathroom breaks. I will phrase it as such. If God is always present, is he present during bathroom breaks? Because it's almost like that, could he make a rock so big he couldn't lift it? So I'll bring that up for Mike and he will give you your answer. See, I'm delegating, guys. I'm doing a great job. I'm delegating. So James is telling us to be like the old school prophets, right? Take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. He's talking about Jeremiah. He's talking about, I literally wrote it down and it's not here anymore. He's mentioning Job by name. Job wasn't a prophet, by the way. But like, depending on which translation you're reading, there are definite links to the life of Jeremiah that he's pulling from. All right. What he's kind of saying, it was like, blessed are those who remain steadfast. Well, here's the thing. These prophets led crazy, unpredictable lives. All right. You didn't know what was coming next because you were waiting for your next orders. Like, they were crazy, unpredictable lives, but they were steadfast. They held the faith. They kept the faith no matter what came their way. Do you want to look at Daniel? He was tossed into a lion's den, okay? Imagine that for a second. Someone's like, hey, you're a Christian, throws you into a den full of lions. Den full of lions. You're in a den full of lions, surrounded, and it's like, okay, this really isn't good. Or you're cast into a fiery furnace. Can you imagine that? But these guys, they stood firm, all right? Even though I'm being cast into the fire, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they literally said, Throw us in the fire. Just do it already. They stood firm. Let's look how that went. All right? Lions didn't eat Daniel. If you're watching VeggieTales, an angel brought them pizza. That's its own thing. That's its own thing. If you're watching the fiery furnace, there was another one in there. Okay? So, those 3 guys into the fiery furnace. Another one shows up. The king is saved, and so is the rest of his kingdom. Daniel in the lion's den. He doesn't get eaten by the lions. He is saved. The king is so awestruck by his faith that he converts, and so does the rest of his kingdom. They went through really sucky situations, but they were firm and steadfast in their faith. And look what happened. Look at the outcome that came at them. I mean, if I'm thrown into a lion's den, my first thought isn't, oh yeah, I'm going to make the night. It's going to be great. I'm going to be sitting there white-knuckling the entire time. Going, please, God, please, turn them into something else. Please, God, please. Can you bring them pizza? I watched that on VeggieTales. Can you... I would not be sitting there calm. All right? Now, I may have an overwhelming urge to pet the kitty. Because, have you ever heard a lion roar or meow? Lions meow, by the way. It's more like mooing, but Google it. Even the big cats still meow and purr. And I would be very tempted to pet the kitty cat. They have really big toe beans, you know? Really big toe beans. At the end of this here, do not swear either by heaven or earth or by any other oath. Okay? Look here. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. He is doing a callback to chapter 3, where speak the truth. If you say you're going to do this, do this. Walk your talk. They have to be connected. James is calling us back to that and going, guys, above any of this other stuff, you gotta walk it if you're talking it. And you gotta live it if you believe it. That's what he's reminding us here. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. If you said you're gonna do it, do it. Alright? You gotta stand firm. Alright? Let your yes be yes and your no be no. I remember challenging when we talked about the walk the talk. When we were talking about that, my level up challenge was along the lines of what's another way, or what is a way that you could be walking what you talk. I would be very interested to see what people did with that, or what they got out of that. But I'm trying to be a lot more intentional with my language, with my lifestyle, with my actions. We've talked about before in James 3 how our words have power. And the tongue is the rudder of the mouth, right? Like it like steers, the words steer, the words lead. And the importance of our words, because with great power comes great responsibility. And James is calling us back here. Like, James, in this one little section here, all right? In this one little section, has called back to about 16 different parts of the Bible, guys. This is why I titled this stream "And Another Thing," all right? Because he's pulling more and more and more. Because when I was young, during the summers, my mom would try to teach my sister and I math. My sister needed a little help with the math. I didn't. But she did Smarties math. My train of thought is disappearing, Joe. My train of thought is disappearing. Oh my word. I didn't have enough coffee today. All the callbacks. Ah, yes. All the callbacks. Okay. We did Smarty math. So my mom would put the Smarties in front of us and be like, okay, this plus this or this minus this. And if it was minus, you got to eat them. So you really wanted it to be minus. And I was annoyed that she was teaching me the same thing all summer, even though I already knew it. And when I was like, Mom, why are you only teaching me this? Why aren't you teaching other things? See, Solomon, you meant that prayer. It was answered. I got my train of thought back. And my mom said the best way to learn is through repetition. Except she said it, the best way to learn is through repetition. Because when you are doing something over and over and over, at least in my way, in my experience, I am learning a new way. I am learning a new experience. Perhaps I'm going to try and streamline it in somehow. But the best way for me to learn how streaming works is to do it again and again and again. And I think I'm getting the hang of it. Starting to. Anyway, Mike still had to help me today, but that's because I didn't want to break it. I didn't want to break it. So when James is doing all of these callbacks, he's trying to teach us through repetition. He's kind of sitting there smacking your forehead going, get this through your thick skull, people. Walk your talk. Watch your words. Stay steadfast in your faith. I like to imagine that James is going, we've talked about this about 100 million times, but let's try one more time and see if it works. Kind of like being a youth pastor to junior high students. I said what I said. I said what I said. Case in point, camps this summer. Some students got things right away. Other students you had to work with personally and go through the things again and again and again before they finally understood. Everybody's different, right? But James is speaking to us as a whole, going, come on now. We can do it. It's easy. 3 + 3 equals what now? And if you're going 7, he's going, okay, let's do this again. Kind of like Duolingo. I feel a little infantilized every time I use it because, treats me like a child, going, let's repeat the same word 16 times. But in the last 2 years that I've been using it, I have learned so much Spanish, you guys. I am sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally slipping it into conversation. It used to be that when I was talking to myself, I was speaking French. Now it's mostly Spanish with a few French words in there, which is kind of cool for me to realize because I've done all of this repetition and I'm learning. So James is calling back all this repetition to go, okay, we've talked about this before. We're going to talk about it again. What is 3 + 3? What is 3 + 3? Until we understand 3 + 3 is 6. He's trying to remind us. Solomon says 3 + 3 is 150. I know math and units are a little different over there, Solomon, but you might want to talk to your doctor about why you think 3 + 3 is 150. There could be something else going on. I'm just saying, we'll pray for you. So he's given us all of these callbacks, right? He's going, and I use commentaries. All right, let's see if I can pull this up. So I can go through here and do commentaries, and I can sit here, right? And it talks about all of the ways he's calling it back. Literally, that's what I was using to get most of my notes, is commentaries. Because these are people who will sit there and study this over and over and over and over and over until they really understand it. And then they put it in a way that we can study over and over and over and over until we get it. And we talked before about how James was known for his insane dedication to prayer. We're talking Daniel level. And Daniel was praying constantly, even when he knew he was going to get a date with some very large kittens. Stop beeping at me. What is even the problem? Ah, yes, I got a notification because today would normally be Nuggets of Wisdom. It is not. I was like, what are you beeping about? Nuggets of Wisdom is back next week. Back to our normal message. James was known for his prayer. I think what they used to call him was like elephant knees because of the way his knees were weathered from how much time he spent on his knees in prayer. That's dedication, you guys. That is serious dedication. That is like, you know how sometimes if you go to a hairdresser, you will see that there's like wear on the floor, but only around the chair. Like, James was dedicated to that level to pray. His body had wear and tear because of how he was praying, how much he was praying. Like, it affected his knees. I'm like, I have some interesting ideas of what that would look like or feel like physically. I mean, I'm having knee issues today. Who knows why? They're angry. And when I went to check, they were okay. I don't think they're supposed to be black and purple. But hey, the knee is still attached. And as long as it hasn't, detached itself from my body, we're fine. But when my knee was bugging me this morning, I sat there while I was rubbing my knee and I was like, you know what? I bet James had to deal with stuff like this when he was praying. It's like, yeah, I just prayed for however long. My knees are kind of sore. Maybe I should, rub them. Maybe I should, what would he have done? Would he have, put a salve on them if they were hurting? I have a lot of questions for this dude. As someone who has knee issues and, let's be honest, whole body issues. Be interesting to talk to a few people, like Job, for one. Definitely gonna have some conversations with him someday. Be interesting to talk to James about what impact that was on his body. It'd be interesting to talk to Paul about what that thorn in the flesh was. Some people believe it was something physical, that he gets some sort of ailment. And honestly, I didn't enjoy Pauline literature in post-secondary. But when I found out and read the commentaries about how the thorn in his side may be, physical illness related, I disliked it a little less. So I was like, oh, that means he's probably like me. I guess I can't be as unhappy with his writing. There's several reasons. We're not going there. But since I brought up Pauline literature, Solomon, you made me spin the punishment wheel. So I'm going to tell a funny / embarrassing story about Pilo on stream that will be recorded. But I mean, however, my dad has told this story many a time. So I'm in my final year of high school. I knew since I was 12 that I was called into ministry. That's when he called me. I was that young. There was no doubt in my mind this is what I was going to do. So I'm in my final year. I've applied to a few different places. And my dad goes, hey, for March break, my alma mater is doing an open door thing. You get to sit in on some classes. You get to meet some of the faculty. You get to do some cool stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, just go. Just do this for me. Just try this one. We're going to try other universities. Just try this one. So I'm like, okay. And I sign up. And you got a discount on your application if you gave it in that day or that week or whatever. And so, firstly, let me just say, the moment I stepped through the doors of that building, God was like, this is where you're going. I had plans to go elsewhere. It would have been a lot cheaper, let's be honest. But God was like, this is where you need to go. Still don't fully understand why that was where I needed to go, but I'm sure it'll make sense in time. But I sign up, and they send me an itinerary of what we're going to be doing that week. And so I was sitting in on 2, maybe 3 classes, one of which was a pop culture class. I minored in pop culture and its theological influence, but that was down the line. But then the other class that it wanted me to take was Pauline literature. I grew up a pastor's kid. And I got the itinerary, and I went up to my dad and I was like, "Who's Pauline?" And my dad just looked at me and shook his head and said he couldn't believe I was his child, because Pauline literature is the works of Paul. But it was Pauline literature, okay? Like, it's Shakespearean literature. So, like, therefore, it has to be written by Pauline. No. So I straight up told my dad, at 17 years old, that I thought it was some writing by someone named Pauline. Of course you've heard that one, Hoff. My family loves telling that story. They love embarrassing me. Alright? So that's part of my punishment. That's my punishment from the punishment wheel. I told an embarrassing story. I thought Pauline literature was written by some lady named Pauline, and I didn't know who she was. That's what we're doing there. We're gonna get to the end here, eventually. Eventually. Alright, so our very end here, Pauline is the author of the year. And let me just tell you, out of all of the classes I took, Pauline literature was at the bottom of the ones I liked. Many reasons for that. I'm sure Paul and I will duke it out. You know, Jacob wrestled with that being, whether it was God or an angel or what, which leads me to believe that there is the potential that in heaven there is a wrestling ring, and I just may get to duke it out with Paul. That could be fun. And in this corner, Wang Pilo, and in this corner, at the age of 678 million years, Paul, the Apostle. Ding, 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 ding. I prefer Jolene literature. You have to read it 9 to 5, though. Wow, Solomon. Hoff says he'd pay to see that fight if he doesn't get to be my manager. And we'll see who takes over as a manager once I get to heaven. I have a feeling I'm going to be incredibly popular and will want to be signed by many entertainment agencies up there. I'm kidding. I'm not that funny. I find myself funny, okay? If that's a consolation, alright? I find myself pretty funny. And in the end of the day, it's all that matters. Hi, Fireball! Welcome! We're near the end of James 5. You just missed my conversation about wanting to duke it out with Paul in a boxing ring. But ding 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 ding, round 1. I mean, that could be fun. There's no such thing as pain in heaven, you know. There's no such thing as pain. So does that mean that I wouldn't have dislocations? Or does that mean that if I did, they wouldn't hurt? So many questions. I will ask Mike. Mike will answer all the difficult questions. You have difficult theological questions, ladies and gentlemen. I know some of you do. Do you have a question that you think could stump a youth leader? Send them to Mike. Send all those questions to Mike and they will be answered in due time. Brought to you by the petition to make Mike cry. Now back to our regular messages. We're almost at the end here, okay? Almost at the end. I'm like down here. There's no spicy food there. No, it just means that the spicy food wouldn't be as spicy coming out as it is going in. No pain in heaven. You can eat all the Taco Bell you want. You ain't getting acid reflux, and you ate and spent a year in the bathroom afterward. That's my assumption. I mean, we're gonna get up there, there's gonna be a feast of the lamb, there's gonna be all sorts of foods. And by the way, I really don't think that there's such a thing as like diabetes, there's such a thing as obesity. Like I have this perception and idea that when I get to heaven, it will be like a cruise ship in terms of there's always food. The food is always really, really good, and I can have as much as I want of it. Because it's free. It's been paid for. Like, that gets me excited. Thinking about all the things that I can try. All of the foods that I love that are likely going to be there. All of the people that I love that are likely going to be there. And some that are no doubt in my mind there. I was talking to Mike today about some of that. This has been a difficult point of the year. Yeah, it's been a difficult couple of months for a few different reasons. And praying for comfort, praying for strength, praying for the ability to comfort others as well, because I'm not the only one hurting right now. And getting to talk about, thank you, Solomon, getting to talk about some of it with Mike and talking about my certainty that some of the people I love are up there. And that, you know, maybe when I get up there, I get to duke it out with my great grandma. Apparently, she could throw a punch. I never saw her throw a punch, but her wit was like nobody's business. I would love just to be able to hug her. There's a lot of people that part of me wishes this life would speed up so I could get there and see them. That wishes, you know, hey, Jesus, can you just, like, have that horn blown right now so, like, we can go? Because, let's be honest, the world out there is not great, guys. But James here is saying be patient. We know that horn is going to blow. We know that someday we're going to end up in heaven. Someday we're going to end up with that banquet. And yes, Solomon, elderly people, technically, because, you know, most people die when they're elderly. But younger, we will have new bodies and no food poisoning. No sickness, no pain in heaven. I am very much looking forward to that, however that looks. James is saying, be patient. James is saying, wait. And then we've got prayer. You only have 8 points. This could be fun. Let's see how many Pilo has, ladies and gents. Because I got a notification we're online. How many do I have? Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Right? I'm going to see if you can see that in the corner. I think I have a few. In case you couldn't see that number, it is more than 15,000. Saving it up. Want to make streams this fall more chaotic. 15,000. So I think I win. So James is pivoting from things suck, watch out, end is coming, to be patient, things are going to get better. And Wally has 32k. Dang. Wally's like a grade A creeper. Goodness gracious. He's pivoting into this next part. Is anyone among you suffering? Let him pray. Is anyone cheerful? Let him sing praise. Is anyone among you sick? None of us. We're all extremely healthy, right, Solomon? Let him call for the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer of faith will save the one who is sick, and the Lord will raise him up. If he has committed sins, he will be forgiven. So we're just going to stop at that little part right there. Prayer of faith. You got to be walking the walk. You got to be talking the talk. You got to be living that faith. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. If your heart is not in it, if your soul is not in it, it's not going to work. And yes, Solomon, Team Perfect Health. You and I are the ambassadors for Team Perfect Health. 100% healthy, no problems here. That's right. Welcome to Graphic Word. No problems here. Solomon and Pilo are not perfectly healed. No problems. Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh my word. If I've asked my dad before, because he deals with chronic pain, if you woke up one morning and had no pain, what would you think? And his honest response was, I would think I was dead. And honestly, I would probably feel the same. I am so used to pain. Not being in pain is weird. It's just weird for me at this point. He said that he would think he's dead, and I don't disagree with him. I would probably think the same. I'd be like, oh, this must be heaven. This is wonderful. No pain. No pain. And I might be tempted, like Spider-Man did, to test it out. And that would probably resort in pain. And then just undo the whole thing. But he's saying if your heart's not in it, if your soul's not in it, means nothing. Your words have power. You have to be using them right with the right intention for it to work. And I'm not saying that this is some magic spell or, some magic word that fixes it. It fixes everything. It's like, abracadabra, you're healed. No. It's a prayer of faith. Prayer of faith that is living, that is breathing, that is active. Prayer of faith that is real, that is not fake. Alright? Prayer doesn't work if you don't mean it, walk it, and talk it. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a movie called Fireproof with Kirk Cameron in it. But basically the movie is about a failing marriage. And he plays the husband. And the husband comes to Christ, which is like a big freaking deal. And he wants to try and save his marriage. So every single day he's going through this thing called the Love Dare to help him repair his marriage. He's praying every single day. But here's the thing. He's not just praying that his marriage will be fixed. There's a whole montage at one point. And a song comes on. I cannot remember for the life of me who it's by, but it's called While I'm Waiting. And part of the song goes, while I'm waiting, I will worship. Right? While I'm waiting, I will continue living for you. I will continue worshiping you. While I'm waiting, I'm going to keep moving. And so this husband, he's not just praying that his relationship will be fixed. He's fixing the things around the house that needed to be fixed he was putting off. He's paying off bills that he had pulled money from for frivolous things. He's dealing with his addictions. He's loving on his wife by getting her flowers, calling her just to talk about her day. He's loving on her in her actions. All right? While he's waiting for his prayer to be fulfilled, he is acting on it. He's not just praying the words, he's living them. Alright, it's a really, really good movie. Mike and I talked about how cheesy it is, and it's definitely very cheesy. Mike said it was so cheesy you don't need to bring nachos because there's that much cheese. I don't really disagree with him, but I really liked the movie because of the premise of while I'm waiting, I'm going to keep working, I'm going to keep moving, I'm going to keep doing. And that's what this husband is doing. And that's what James is telling us we need to be doing. A prayer of faith is the one that will save the sick. The prayer of faith. That's what it needs to be. Therefore, confess your sins to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. The prayer of the prayer of a righteous person has great power as it is working. That's what this character was doing. Prayer of a righteous person has great power as it is working. Talked before about my grandma and how much of an incredible prayer warrior she was. There's no doubt in my mind that she is one of the reasons I am alive today. It is no secret that I have health problems. But the day I was born, there were at least 3 genuine, serious reasons why I wasn't going to survive. My parents didn't even get to see me. I was rushed away from them. I was their firstborn. They had no idea what was going on. And I don't know how word got to my grandma and my grandpa, but it did. And they said, not on our watch. And they prayed. They dropped everything and prayed. And the doctors have no idea what happened. Like, they have no idea what happened for me to be in that position. It literally doesn't make medical sense. My doctor said if she didn't have the reports in front of her, she wouldn't believe it happened. All right? It's that kind of what happened. And they prayed, and things went from your daughter's not going to make it through the night to your daughter can go home with you in 2 days. Like, the prayer of a righteous person has insane power if you're living it, if you're walking it, if you're talking it. We can call back to faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. Have you ever seen a mustard seed? It's tiny, you guys. And it has power. Serious power. We talked about, someone says, mustard. Pringles came out with a new flavor. I don't have the can with me for very specific portioning reasons. They have honey mustard flavored Pringles. According to my family, these should not exist. According to myself and Mike, they very much should exist because they are delicious. My dad tried one and went, ugh. And I'm like, I like it, okay? I like it. That's what matters. But mustard seed is tiny. And it has enough power to move a mountain. Like, the prayer of a righteous person has great power. The life of a righteous person has great power. Christ was righteous. Look at his life. Look at the influence that made. James did his best to live a righteous life. Paul did his best to live a righteous life. Do you want to look at the life of Esther? Life of Ruth? Like, there are so many lives that we have actual history of that prove that living it, walking it, talking it makes a difference. Solomon gave us a really, really good quote. Prayer is no fitful, short-lived thing. It is no voice crying unheard and unheeded in the silence. It is a voice which goes into God's ear, and it lives as long as God's ear is open to the holy pleas, as long as God's heart is alive to holy things. Edward McKendry Bounds. It's true. It's true. Sometimes it feels like you gotta be that kid that keeps reminding your parents, this is what I want for Christmas, this is what I want for Christmas, this is what I want for Christmas. Sometimes it feels like you have to do that. It doesn't mean he's saying no. It doesn't mean you're not living a righteous life. It just means that maybe you're not seeing what's actually going on around you. You're not seeing the influence and the impact that you are having on those around you. Going into our RPG camps this summer, I know little to nothing about RPGs except causing chaos within them. And I thought I was going to be of no help whatsoever. I was like, I'm just going to be a second body to be here. And talking to some of our students after camp and seeing how much of an impact my presence had, like just me being there, just us having the ability for them to be there. I don't know if you could see if you watch last Friday's stream. I think it just went up yesterday. There are moments where I am sitting there not saying anything, but I am feeling nothing but joy and pride for the 2 students that are on there with me. Hearing them talk to each other about camp, hearing them work through things together as a team, which is what we had been teaching them. My little presence had an impact. A righteous person's prayer has impact. A righteous person's life has impact. That's not me saying I'm righteous. I'm trying, guys, okay? I'm trying. We all are. But I think we are very quick to forget that it's not just about us. Like, we are a shining light, all right? We are a grain of salt. We make impact around us because of the one who created us, the one who is within us. And sometimes you got to remind yourself of that power. Not that the power comes from me, not that I am the powerful one, but that he is the powerful one working through me. Because that's been my prayer. Just use me. Use what's going on in my life. Use my circumstance, my situation. Use me. However you need to use me. Someday, and I know it's selfish, but someday when my time here on this earth is done and I am able to go through the pearly gates, fingers crossed they let me through. I'm a bit of a troublemaker. And he shows me the impact that I had. I know no matter what he shows me, I'm going to be overwhelmed. But there's a part of me that hopes that there's an impact like Paul's. There's part of me that hopes there's an impact like my grandma's. But all we can do is do our best, right? And he still loves me. He still works through me. Like, look at camp, look at the connections I've been able to make with people, look at the ability that I've had this summer to run these streams. Like, he allowed me, through Mike, to have this platform, to have the ability to chill with you guys all summer and into the fall, in case you didn't see our lovely schedule. Like, the prayer of a righteous life in general. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's how we're supposed to be living. And that's what James is trying to remind us throughout the entire book. Throughout the entire book, he's trying to show us and give us a blueprint. He's trying to summarize and repeat what we need to do to live that righteous life. What we need to do to be a righteous person. Like, okay, the prayer of a righteous person has great power as it is working. Elijah was a man with a nature like ours. He prayed fervently that it might not rain, and for 3 years and 6 months, it did not rain. 3.5 years without rain. And his prayers did that. Can you imagine? Like, 3.5 years with no rain because a man prayed that God would stop the rain as a way to soften the people's hearts. Not only did the rain stop, the heart softened. It worked. Like, that is just mind-blowing to me. I started watching Lincoln Lawyer, okay? And I'm learning things about the legal system. My sister works in the legal system, but Lincoln Lawyer is American legal system, so it's different. And there's tricks that lawyers will do, you know, when you're going up to trial and whatever. There's tricks that they will use against each other to get the advantage. And so Elijah praying that it wouldn't rain in order to soften the people's hearts. And then It works. It softens the people's hearts. Like, this is what they call a long shot, you guys. Probably not. Like, from my perspective, I'm praying that it might not rain. I don't know that it's actually gonna happen. I could be sitting here praying for not rain, and I can do it for months. But there's a part of me that's gonna go, I don't know if that's gonna happen. But Elijah did it. He believed it could happen. He believed that God could use that quite literal disaster for 3.5 years, no rain. Like, I cannot imagine what that would do to the land, that level of drought. Like, we see on the news the drought that hits California almost every year. But that's just only a couple months. That's not 3.5 years. That would absolutely decimate farmland. Like, think of what that would do to the economy. Suddenly no rain for 3.5 years. Like, you want the world's attention, you're gonna get it. 3 years and 6 months it did not rain on the earth. And then he prayed again, and the heaven gave rain, and the earth bore its fruit. Thank you, Solomon. Yes, let's stretch. Stretching's important. Oh, there was another one. 3.5 years later, he prays, and the rain starts again. I can imagine that maybe he didn't want to say that he prayed the rain would stop. Because I'm pretty sure that would create a target on someone's back. But he prayed again 3.5 years later, and the rain started. The earth bore its fruit. Because he was a righteous person. He prayed fervently. And not only did he pray, he walked it, he talked it, he lived it. Rain fruit. Ooh. I don't think I've ever had that kind of fruit. I have a feeling it would be interesting. Yes, I am, I'm hugging the die here. My 20-sided die. I don't think I'd roll a high number. Students loved doing it, though, on Friday. It was great. Rolling the number to see what they could get. So throughout this passage of 13 to 18, confess your sins to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. James is reminding us that we're supposed to be a team. He's actually talking about fellowship. And before the comment section goes wild, yes, I am going to segue into Fellowship of the Ring and Walk to Mordor. Working as a team, that is what James is asking us to do. He's asking us to hold each other accountable, to be there for each other. When we do Walk to Mordor, which is our yearly fundraiser, no individual alone has to walk the distance. What we are doing is, as a team, we compile our distance, and that is our final score. We are doing it as a fellowship. We are doing it as a team to tackle this thing together. That's what he wants. That's what James is talking about. Doing it as a team. Praying for each other. Keeping each other accountable. Confessing your screw-ups to one another. He wants us to be that team. He wants us to be that fellowship. He wants us to be that clanmily. That is my word. A clan and family combination. Which, if you've spent any time in our Discord, you are well aware that we are a family, even if we're a little chaotic. Even if there's a little bit of chaos, we are very much a family. And is anyone among you suffering? Is anyone among you sick? Like, confessing your sins, praying for each other, all right? We have a specific channel in our Discord that I have used probably more than my share for this year, for prayer requests. And you put it in there, and we'll pray for you. Like, if you've got something that you need prayed over, put it in the Discord. You don't want everybody else to see it, message one of the leaders. We will 100% pray for you, pray with you. Because we're a family, and that is what we do. Solomon is singing, "We are family." And I'm really not surprised. Alright, finishing this off with verse 19. "My brothers, if anyone among you wanders from the truth and someone brings him back, let him know that whoever brings back a sinner from his wandering will save his soul from death and will cover a multitude of sins." This is a callback to the parable of the lost coin, the parable of the lost sheep, the parable of the lost son. James is saying that we are supposed to have a family that is so tight-knit that if one of us is missing, we notice instantly. If one of us is missing, we hunt after that lost coin, that lost sheep, that lost son. We know something is wrong. We know something isn't right because, hey, this person isn't here. This person isn't showing up. And we go after them. And that's what we try to do. We as leaders try very hard. Our Discord server it's large, all right? And we are not perfect. But that is what we try to do. Hey, I haven't seen you around much lately. And just send that little message. Send that little prompt going, we're still here. If you want to talk, we're still here. If you just want someone to sit beside you, we're still here. We're not going anywhere. Some of us are very stubborn. Some of us are very stubborn people. And I'm obviously talking about Mike right now. He wants a bond that is so tight that no one can be lost. And this is the nerd in me, but in reading this last part here, my brain instantly went to Stitch. Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. That's what James is telling us we need to be. We need to be that Ohana. We need to have each other's backs. We need to be there for each other. We need to represent. You can't just talk it. You can't just walk it. You can't just have the gas. You can't just have the engine. You've got to have it all for it to work. You got to live it. You got to speak it. You got to believe it if you want this faith to work. And that's not an easy thing to do. It's an easy thing to say. It's not an easy thing to do. And none of us are perfect. And we are all working on ourselves. But this is what we're called to do. This is what we are called to strive for. That bond so tight that it's like, hey, Solomon hasn't checked in a couple days. I haven't seen him on stream. Maybe I should send him a message. Or like after one of my last larger procedures when Solomon didn't send me a message as much as a picture he had made that just said wellness check-in. And there were duckies and cats and painkillers involved in the little picture. It was very cute. But that's what James is talking about. If they're missing, bring them back. If they're missing, connect with them. Don't just let them go. We're family. Kind of stuck with each other. Sorry, not sorry. You're stuck with me. Fall may be coming. I'm not going away. There won't be pillow talk, but you'll still have retro replay and you'll still have eyes up. As long as I can game, I will be here. Because I've said I will. And it's a lot more than that. I feel like I get more out of streaming than you guys get out of it. Like, I leave this place after a stream, you could call it on a high. You could say I leave on a high, because my heart is happy because I've done what I'm called to do. Whether that's sitting here playing video games, sitting here going over scripture, or sitting here being stuck playing whatever video game you guys have chosen for me. Whether it involves animals with guns, or power washing tools, or, you know, being trapped in an asylum. Or dinosaurs. It's what I've said I'll do. It's something I love doing. And it's what I'm supposed to be doing. Alright. You know, I didn't come up with a level up challenge. I didn't have a level up challenge written down. I am disappointed in myself. How dare I? Alright, here's my level up challenge. What is one way among either your graphic word family or your church family, however you're connected, that you could step up, that you could be more family like James is telling us here? What is one way that you could step up and do what James is saying here? Maybe you noticed that somebody hasn't been connected with recently, or maybe there's a hole in your local church ministry that they're needing someone to fix. What is one way that you can be more Ohana? That is my challenge for you guys. So we will have retro replay on Friday. The poll is in Discord. If you haven't voted, please do. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. We'll see how this goes. I am excited. And then Monday we'll be back for Eyes Up. It'll be the day before our new rewards pass comes out. So we'll do a few things. I am looking for a second to help me through Edge of Fate. I have one mission left. I think. Because I know I'm right at the end. So if you are another Destiny 2 player, have either completed the campaign or want to try and catch up and want to help me finish, that'd be great. Hashtag Team Warlock. Heck yes. I'm a fairly competent player, but I play better when I have an anchor, or a second person, because then I can do the stupid thing without panicking that I'm gonna wipe. Yeah. I had a friend I used to play with, and we'd be going through the missions, and you'd be in that no respawn zone, right? And we would warn each other. It's like, I'm about to do something stupid. Don't die. That's what we used to do. So it still goes in my head when I'm playing, and it's like, oh, I'm about to jump in or something. It's like, I'm about to do something stupid. The other people better not die. So once again, your level up challenge is, what is one way you could step up, either in your church family, maybe in this family? Is there a ministry hole that needs to be filled? Is there a person that that you haven't heard from in a while that you want to reach out to? What is one way that you can do that? Pillow Talks may be coming to an end, but we have Nerds in the Word that will be coming back. I'm going to put up our schedule one more time. So we will have Nerds in the Word coming back on Tuesdays, and then Thursdays is the re-emergence of Level Up Talks. It has been a long time since we have had any Level Up Talks with Mike, so it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. He's bringing it back because you guys wanted it. That's right, we do listen to you. Whether you believe it or not, we actually do listen to you. We may not listen well. We may get sidetracked. But we do indeed listen to you, our listeners, and our watchers and our supporters. We do indeed listen. We may have a short attention span, but yes, we listen. So this week is just retro replay on Friday. And then, in the end, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming come Monday. It's gonna be good, you guys. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to it. We are all looking forward to it as a clan, Molly. Alright. I need to vamonos. So, I'm going to do a very, very, very quick prayer. If you have prayer requests, like I said, put it in our prayer channel in Discord. Or message us directly if you don't want to put it out there for everyone to see. Your choice. Your choice. We're not going to judge, right? Like, have y'all seen me? I have nothing to judge. If y'all have spent any time with me, I have no platform to judge on. I'd say I'm sorry, but then I'd be lying and my words have power. This is what I'm learning. Thank you, Solomon, for saying that this stream was great. I try my hardest. It doesn't always work, but I try. Alright, so I'm gonna let out a quick prayer here. Oh, God. Thank you that we can be together, whether online or in person or comme ci, comme ça, however we can be together, God. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the connections. Thank you for the friends. Thank you for the family that we have. I pray that you would give us strength to pray fervently, that you would give us strength to seek out that righteous life like you've called us to do. And I pray that if there are those ways in which you need us to step up, that you would push us to do so, whether gently or with a transport truck. That you would push us towards these spots that you need. You know how stubborn, specifically I am. If you need to use a multitude of transport trucks to push me in the right direction, Lord, so be it. I pray that you would comfort all of us, that you would make yourself known in all of our lives, that you would keep us safe and sound and our devices, and that no matter what we do, in the end it would be for you. In your great name we pray. Amen. Alright guys, like I said, I'm going to vamonos. So, yes, amen, a woman. I will see you guys on Friday. The poll is in Discord. Yes, that's all votes. Poll is in our Discord. Make sure to vote. You can't complain about what I'm playing if you haven't voted for what I'm playing. You hear? So, get your say in. Could be interesting, could not be. Am I in an asylum, or am I a squirrel with a gun chasing people around to catch acorns? Or maybe I'm power washing, or maybe I am a dinosaur eating things. Stray? I don't have a Steam account, and as you've said before, you can't gift things in Xbox from your region to mine. So, no. Let's be real, my emotional capacity is not there to play a cat that realistic that gets separated from its owners. I would have to either have Kara present or be hugging her very intensely afterwards. Let's be real, I see a cat on the side of the road, not even dead, just walking down the side of the road, and I'm like, I need to go home and hug Kara. So, probably never. That's my answer to Stray. Haha. Therefore, Pilo wins. So, I will see you guys on Friday at noon. We will be in Discord and around, you know. Need to send a message with a prayer request. Need to send a message because you just want to talk. That's what we're here for. Alright? We are family. I'm not doing anymore because I don't want to get muted and copyrighted. Because it could be Disney that owns that song. I don't know. I don't want to deal with that bill. And anyway, like we said, have any deep theological questions and like intense theological questions, send them to Mike. And you can tell him I said to send them. We love Mike. We gotta make him do something. He's finally back from holidays. Cause like he totally does nothing around here. I will see you guys Friday. So have a great morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Remember that we love you. So does the one who made you. So have a great time, I guess, whatever it is, wherever you are. Peace.